Kody sighted in Scottsdale. Guess who I ran into at Fashion Square Mall in Scottsdale today? None other than Kody, strutting through Hugo Boss like he owned the place. Let me tell you, his hair is somehow worse in real life. All that bleaching has turned it into something so dry, it's practically a fire hazard, perfectly matching his sparkling personality. Honestly, why doesn't he do something, anything about it? I'm not saying he needs to book the first flight to Turkey for hair plugs, but come on. The man clearly has the funds. Surely there's a solution between do nothing and full-on midlife crisis. At this point, why don't they just pack up and move to Scottsdale? He's here all the time anyway, and Robyn would have plenty of opportunities to blow their money in style. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X, Robyn's Tenders. So, I happened to catch the Alaska episode, and I couldn't help but notice how Truly and Solomon look like they're practically the same age, because, well, they are. They're both adorable while they're chatting about dog sledding. Robyn was pregnant with Ariella during that filming, by the way. But here's the real kicker. Why does Solomon still look like he's 8 in the more recent episodes? Are both of Robyn's little ones secretly Benjamin Buttoning, or am I missing something? Well, guess what? He was 8 when they filmed those old episodes. Kody and Robyn have apparently mastered the art of recycling content, and they got caught red-handed reusing an entire Thanksgiving scene from the year before. And if you've watched this season's Family Game Night, you know, the one filmed in the afternoon, you'll see that Solomon and Ariella are clearly a bit older and taller. It's like the show has completely given up at this point, just lazily reusing old footage and mixing it all together. The production quality is so thin now, it's borderline embarrassing. What a disaster. Robyn's bling moment is a masterclass in hypocrisy. She can't stop flashing that new ring, all smiles, while pretending she's still pining for sister wives and mourning the collapse of the family. Ugh, yeah, we get it. You're totally thriving in monogamy. How genuine. She's a walking contradiction, and honestly, it's infuriating to watch. And then there's Kody, the eternal attention seeker. Heaven forbid Christine gets a moment to herself, picking out her own wedding ring. Oh no, Kody has to make sure his shy wife gets her turn in the spotlight, so he can shower her with praise and make sure she feels valued. Because clearly, Robyn needs that validation more than anyone. The whole thing's a joke. Robyn loves the bling, loves the attention from Kody, and sure, he's the jealous type, making sure she's never too far from his watchful eye. He won't even let her take the kids to church without hovering, like she's some kind of rare commodity. Newsflash, Kody, Robyn's not all that. I seriously doubt there were lines of men just waiting to marry her. Good grief, he's delusional. Watching Season 10, Episode 1, Catfishing Fallout, it's impossible to ignore how everyone in the family is either playing clueless or acting like they're in some sort of denial. Seriously, they all sound like they're auditioning for an Oscar with lines like, "We had no idea Meri was so lonely," and "Wow, how could this happen in our family?" It's almost comical, because let's be real, they all knew what was going on. Meri's relationship with Kody has been a wreck for years. Kody stopped spending the night at her house months ago, and Meri's been pretty vocal about her struggles with the empty nest syndrome long before any of them even acknowledged it. So hearing them now, acting like they had no clue, is just infuriating. It's like they're all shouting at her, saying, "Why don't you see that we care about you?" When honestly, their actions have said the exact opposite. They can't control Kody, but they sure could have pushed him to fix things with Meri. Instead, they let him treat her like an afterthought while continuing to let her hang on in the background. Janelle and Christine probably didn't mind it too much. After all, it meant more time with Kody for them. And Christine didn't hold back in calling out Robyn for her role in all of it, saying, if Robyn were a good sister wife, she would have admitted Kody was spending more time with her and done something about it. But here's the twist. Janelle and Christine didn't get more time with Kody. Meri actually told him to stop coming around, which meant he started spending all his time with Robyn. And Meri knew it. She wasn't just being passive about it. She knew exactly what was happening. In their book, Meri herself said that when Kody started seeing Robyn, it was a secret. Just like the other three kept the legal divorce from Janelle and Christine a secret. Meri was keeping secrets about Robyn and Kody, all because Robyn was her friend. It's almost tragic how hard she got played by the whole situation. Let's not forget the past. When Meri and Kody hit a rough patch early in their marriage, Janelle stepped in. Apparently, she bullied Kody, his words, into working things out with Meri. Kody even admitted, "If not for Janelle, I don't know where Meri and I would be." I really believe that if Janelle had known how bad things were before the catfishing incident, she would have been an advocate for Meri. But Janelle's a little oblivious when it comes to her sister wives, and Meri, she's not exactly open with her feelings or problems. Then there's Meri's loneliness. She's always complaining about how isolated she feels. Christine points out that Isabel and Gwen had offered to help her unpack and get settled in Flagstaff many times. But Meri just won't accept their help. Instead, she insists she wants Kody and Dayton to come over. And no one, including Christine, understands why she won't take the help from the other kids who have repeatedly offered. Christine's clearly hurt by it and even says in a confessional, "I don't know why Meri won't accept their offer. They're pretty great kids." It's like Meri's lonely, but only certain people can fill that void, specifically Kody, Robyn, and Robyn's kids. At the end of the day, this whole situation just reeks of missed opportunities, misplaced loyalty, and a family that's pretending to be shocked by the fallout of a situation they all saw coming from a mile away. You know, I can't be the only one who would love to hear the wives, Kody, and maybe some of the adult kids spill the real tea about all the drama that went down. We've gotten a glimpse of the Meri/Janelle tension from the early days of the marriages. But wouldn't it be great to hear each person talk about their side of things, the raw, unfiltered truth? Imagine a full-on confessional where everyone airs their grievances, shares their real feelings, without the usual editing and scripted scenes. It would be pure gold. Sure, we'd probably end up with a screaming match, but hey, at least we'd get the real story. I mean, we've only ever seen what they wanted us to see when they were all pretending to be one big happy family. But now that everyone's divorced, except for Kody and Robyn, obviously, wouldn't it be nice if they could finally say what's been on their minds for years without worrying about ruining their relationships? Imagine if they actually listened to each other. Maybe, just maybe, they'd understand why people acted the way they did or said what they said. What we need here is either a top-tier interviewer to run a tell-all special, or better yet, a good therapist who can facilitate some group therapy. Maybe then we'd get to hear the truth. Realistically, I'm guessing we could get Kody and Robyn to do a sit-down together, and maybe the OG3 would be willing to sit down separately. But the idea of a full-blown group interview with all of them, yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. Soapin's got it made, doesn't she? She can do whatever she pleases, buy whatever she wants. Noodlehead, sorry Kody, will worship her like she's some kind of queen. He'll bend over backward just to make sure she doesn't leave him, always asking, "How high?" whenever she says jump. Except, neither she nor Kody seem all that happy. In fact, she's a prisoner in her own gilded cage. She married for money, and as the old saying goes, if you marry for money, you work hard to earn every penny. The permanent scowl on her face is proof enough of how well that's working out for her. She used to look lighter, happier, even hopeful. Now, she's a shell of that person, her whole appearance showing the emotional, physical, and mental toll this marriage has taken on her. But hey, she's gotten everything she wanted. In the most outrageous con of all time, she's taken Kody for a ride. Honestly, it's incredible how gullible he is. He lost his entire family, all for this. What was her ultimate goal? To be the favorite wife, the one with full control of the resources, all while only dealing with Kody a fraction of the time. She keeps her kids close, so she doesn't have to deal with him too often. She'll bail the minute she hits the 10-year mark. She's got it all planned. Let's talk about the Sister Wives show, shall we? The complaints are rolling in. People are so thrilled with the time delays. Seriously, even some other TLC shows manage to avoid this drama. And then there's the demand for the show to be canceled because, apparently, it's not even about Sister Wives anymore, and, well, Garrison's passing. Awkward. But for those of you still hanging in there, I have to ask, why? With the constant delays, what is it that keeps you coming back? What would you change, other than, catching up to real time as best as possible? Because that totally seems like a game changer. I'm all for the show continuing. I genuinely enjoy it, most of the time. Sure, the delays are a pain, but since I don't obsessively check in on the family, unless it's something major, I'm not that bothered. If I wanted it to end, I'd just stop watching. Like I have with plenty of other shows, it's not that complicated. What blows my mind is when people demand a show end because it's no longer their thing. Just turn it off, people. It's that easy. Meanwhile, what I really miss are the glimpses into their everyday lives. When it wasn't all about those tedious one-on-one camera sessions. So who actually likes Meri? Just trying to figure out the dynamics here. Based on what we've seen this season, Gwen seems to be on the Meri fan club roster since she invited her to that party. And of course, her son Leon and Meri are somewhat okay. It's a mother-child relationship, so no surprises there. She's also pretty fond of Robyn's two youngest kids, which I guess is nice. That's all I've got so far. But yeah, we do know some of the kids aren't exactly on the Meri train. She can come off as distant at times. And let's not forget she was the strict one in the family. Compare that to Janelle and Christine, who were probably handing out hugs and snacks while Meri was laying down the law. It makes sense why there's some friction. But then again, there's always that kids hate Meri narrative, which is way blown out of proportion. Take Garrison, for example. After he passed, Meri had a few solo pictures with him, which, suggests they weren't exactly strangers. She's also spent time with Logan and Hunter in Vegas. Oh, and remember when she told Aspen she would do anything to give her the wedding of her dreams? Big heart, that Meri. But don't forget about the infamous Meri drama. She and Maddie had a falling out over Lularo, because, of course, that was bound to happen. Mykelti and Payton had a serious gripe with Meri, mostly because she disciplined them. And then, naturally, they claimed her discipline was abusive. Classic. Maddie also dropped some cryptic comments about fear, but, well, Maddie's social media posts are basically a treasure trove of passive-aggressive vibes. Honestly, I've always gotten the feeling that Meri was the household disciplinarian. Outside of the troublemakers, though, she seemed to have decent enough relationships with the other kids. And for what it's worth, Gwen even said Meri was the only one who would step in and protect her from Payton. So yeah, not everyone hates her. Shocking, I know. Is Meri a psychopath? I'm rewatching the coronavirus episodes, and she actually said she prefers the brain root canal coronavirus test over the spit test. Girl, what? I would literally do anything to avoid shoving a cotton swab up my nose again. Meri, like me, is clearly a swallower, not a spitter. But even so, I'd still take the cotton swab over the spit test any day. My husband jokes that I prefer it because I've snorted a Mack truck's worth of cocaine before. It's funny because it's true. Sobriety date 9/2014. Look, I'm not a fan of Meri either, but jumping to the conclusion that she's a psychopath just because of this opinion. Really? Like, So many people were saying the same thing about the tests from 2020 to 2022. I don't get why that's the hill to die on. So I caught the Alaska episode, and I couldn't help but notice that Truly and Solomon look so close in age, which of course they are. It's honestly adorable when they're gushing about dog sledding. And then I remembered that Robyn was pregnant with Ariella when they filmed that season, which adds an interesting layer. But hold on, I'm left wondering, why does Solomon look like he's still 8 years old in the newer episodes? Am I missing something, or do both of Robyn's younger kids just seem way younger than they actually are? Let's break this down, shall we? First of all, we're talking about footage that's, 1 or 2 years old at this point. At the time, Solomon would have been 11, and Truly would have been 12. Ever been around kids that age? Yeah, girls typically hit puberty earlier than boys. Solomon, for one, has that naturally slender build going on. I've even done some substitute teaching, so trust me when I say you'll easily find middle school boys in 8th grade who could pass for 5th graders, while girls their age seem like they've been through a few more growth spurts. It's not as weird as it sounds. Also, you've got Truly, the youngest in her family branch, who's been around older siblings who've already checked off major milestones like graduation and marriage. Compare that to how Solomon's older sisters act. It's like they missed that maturity memo. And let's not forget, the last time we saw Dayton, he was the quiet one, if you're keeping track. Look at the older siblings like Logan, Leon, and Aspen, who were already long gone. Maddie was married, and Aurora was probably pregnant or getting ready to be. And just think, if Aurora had followed the same path as her siblings, she'd already be popping out her oldest by now. So yeah, while both Solomon and Truly have older siblings, the dynamics are a little different. Solomon also has a younger sister to play with, which tends to keep him in a more childish zone. Like, let's play pretend instead of chatting about teen drama with Isabel. And let's talk about the whole how they dress thing. Christine is clearly hands-off when it comes to Truly's wardrobe, and honestly, Truly's style screams typical tween. Just look at what she's wearing. Robyn, though, she's a different story. I wouldn't be shocked if she's still picking out Solomon's clothes, deliberately dressing him younger than he is. Think back to the early seasons when Aurora and Brianna were close in age to Gwen and Isabel, and yet they both looked like they were stuck in a perpetual 5-year-old phase. And let's not forget, Robyn's kids have always been thin, just like Brianna and Solomon. It's like she's got a whole fashion strategy to keep them looking younger. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all. At the time, Solomon would have been 11, and Truly would have been 12. Ever been around kids that age? Yeah, girls typically hit puberty earlier than boys. Solomon, for one, has that naturally slender build going on. I've even done some substitute teaching, so trust me when I say you'll easily find middle school boys in 8th grade who could pass for 5th graders, while girls their age seem like they've been through a few more growth spurts. It's not as weird as it sounds. Also, you've got Truly, the youngest in her family branch, who's been around older siblings who've already checked off major milestones like graduation and marriage. Compare that to how Solomon's older sisters act. It's like they missed that maturity memo. And let's not forget, the last time we saw Dayton, he was the quiet one, if you're keeping track. Look at the older siblings like Logan, Leon, and Aspen, who were already long gone. Maddie was married, and Aurora was probably pregnant or getting ready to be. And just think, if Aurora had followed the same path as her siblings, she'd already be popping out her oldest by now. So yeah, while both Solomon and Truly have older siblings, the dynamics are a little different. Solomon also has a younger sister to play with, which tends to keep him in a more childish zone. Like, let's play pretend instead of chatting about teen drama with Isabel. And let's talk about the whole how they dress thing. Christine is clearly hands-off when it comes to Truly's wardrobe, And honestly, Truly's style screams typical tween. Just look at what she's wearing. Robyn, though, she's a different story. I wouldn't be shocked if she's still picking out Solomon's clothes, deliberately dressing him younger than he is. Think back to the early seasons when Aurora and Brianna were close in age to Gwen and Visible, and yet they both looked like they were stuck in a perpetual 5-year-old phase. And let's not forget, Robyn's kids have always been thin, just like Brianna and Solomon. It's like she's got a whole fashion strategy to keep them looking younger. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.